Hi, everybody. Mondion Astral Oracles. We're continuing with the magic theme this month of November, and I'm going to do one of these channeling safaris that I haven't done too many of, but that I actually enjoy a lot. So I'm going to get different perspectives on the same topic in a succession of channelings. And so we're going to talk to our alien friends. It seems like it's been a while, and I'm looking forward to reconnecting to them. So let's try to get the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Syrians, and the Lyrans to connect to us. And I think now that I'm considering it, let's connect to their 9D aspects, that is, their collective consciousness, their ascended, shared consciousness that exists as a thought form, as a unified perfection beyond the layers of time. That's the ninth dimension. And we're going to tap into that. And then I think to also keep up with the law of fives. Speaking of magic, we are going to fulfill the pentagram by talking to the Solons, these humans from the future, and get some comparative aspects there towards the end. So that will be the progress of this session. And I think instead of me doing all kinds of preliminaries, let's just dive into it and get these aspects on how magic looks for these other conscious beings. So thank you for being with me, and I hope everything is magical on your end. Much love. Greetings, sweet human beings. Speaking to you, addressing you this evening, showering you with love and acceptance, seeing you in the totality of your being and accepting every part of it, is I, Mirror of the Pleiadian High Command. We are aware that we are realigning the intentions of our friend here, who set out to connect to ninth dimensional aspects of our energy. But it was thought that you would be more receptive to these personal instructions. And so you will experience myself and other sentient beings having personality, expressing themselves and relating to you in a heart to heart. You will experience us coming forward and talking to you as you tune in and create this reality with us. We are, of course, aligning to human terms and modes of expression, human sensory configurations, human atmospheres, we could say, in these exchanges. Yet magic is universal. It is the art of reshaping reality consciously while still being embedded in it. This means we're separating it from the acts of divine creation that also take place outside and beyond the veil. But we who share in this dance of personality, of incarnation, of living in a world that is populated by shape, form, emotion, and mood, well, we work with these elements. And so it is true across the entirety of the universe that vibration is the universal reality. This means that energy is always moving, always stirring things, always sending waves and ripples through its flow, its confluence, its movement. These vibrations then turn in on themselves in acts of creation. That is, they become matter, and matter becomes closed. It separates itself into circuitries, and these circuitries, these more complex molecules, these life forms, all these things become closed ways that the universal vibration then separates itself into a finer, a more detailed, a more fine-tuned nuance of vibration. This is why it is both possible for us to have these transactions of energy, that we can make your vibration stir with the frequency of ours, to tune these separate circuitries to each other and create new circuitries where energy is exchanged and expounded upon. It, however, also means that you cannot possibly really comprehend or understand how our physical systems relate to the vibrancy of the universe at large. On our home planet, for instance, there now being a few, but the one we emerged from, the one we sometimes call Ea, well, on this our home planet, this our mother planet, we grew in a way where it was more meaningful for us to see light as prismatic refraction. And so where you perceive color as this type of emanation of the thing you are beholding, we see it as an interplay of star energy, and we constantly behold the flow of light as it weaves, waves, and bobs its way in through a more musky, dusky atmosphere than the one you are used to. And then, as it dissipates and enlivens things here, so to us, light, star energy, is very tangible and accessible to the touch. Our energy, or the way we manage it, our magic systems, our way of relating to energy, therefore, is very connected to us setting certain frequencies into motion in our nervous systems. We're trying to relay this idea to you, as we are also vertebrates, but our nervous systems have grown to stretch also to some extent above the surface of our skin. So you would experience us when you saw us with your sensory organs in our environment as changing color or giving off different light. What we're doing is we're simply retuning the mood or the energy field around us and setting that into a type of harmonic calibration with our own system. This is very akin to you in your human terms, what you do when you sing. So notice that this is also a primordial technique that you use in sacred gatherings or in invocations. In all places and times on your planet, you find that singing is a way where you tune the frequency of the atmosphere and the mood around you. We do this instead by allowing our bodies to become refractory, to pulsate, and there to determine the atmosphere. So in some ways we would be similar to your octopi, to these color-changing, intelligent beings, in the way that they also give off luminosity, in the way that they signal mood through other sensory capabilities. Well, then just as you, once we have created the mood, once we have concentrated the universal frequency into an energy that we wish to work with, we begin to direct it, and we can pour different intentions into it. So much as you have complex ways of singing and vocalizing together as a species, we have complex ways of vibrating. And so we can nuance any type of atmospheric situation. There is a chemical quality to the soup of gases to us. What you experience as atmosphere is very tangible to us. And this is the medium in which we work. We will allow you to digest these images of us coming from the Pleiades in the tongue of my people. The ancient word for us is Laman, and we came with this vibration, wishing to share this space with you this day. Our love to you, dear human beings. Our love to all that exists. Farewell. Next up is the Arcturians, so let's see what happens when we connect to them. Greetings, dear human beings. This is your friend Umlam, connecting to you again. You know me well, and so as I connect to you as a representative from the entirety of the Arcturian species, I come forward to share some more personal perspectives this day, greeting you with love in my heart and seeing the love that lives in your hearts and that expresses itself in a myriad of wonderful ways. See, love is truly the medium that we live in, we sentient beings. We Arcturians, we grew very aware of this love as the substratum of our reality. See, there is in our being a very strong tendency towards separation. That is, with insight comes the ability to get lost in subtlety, in detail. You may know that every slight little part of reality in your own experience can be dived and delved into, opened, unpacked, and unfolded in ways where it can take up lifetimes of engagement to understand. And you can connect this to the entirety of the universe. So, behold a needle or a pin and marvel at the processes that it takes to bring that into your experience. See that it is made up of complex atoms compared to the hydrogen that you understand that the world began with. These metals, they have been shaped by the attraction of matter itself into the vast alchemical furnaces of stars. And here these metals have been launched into the wide void to reach another place of attraction, your planet. And here they hide as delicate seams and treasures for you to excavate and uncover, to work and mold and shape and concentrate. Until then you combine this marvel, this pin you behold, with thread, another process, a deep ingenuity and creation, another gift and marvel of nature, And combining these, you draw them together, and you mend what was broken, and you fashion clothes to warm your body and to cover yourself in delicate sensation. Do you see the deep love that informs all these supposedly separate layers of reality? This was all the rage to us, as it goes in your mode of expression. This became our great obsession once we came across the hurdles of separation and hurt that informed our collective. We began to discover how details all informed and fit into the great tapestry of unity. And notice how, when we connect to you this day, all days, in all times, through this vessel and other vessels, in your dreams and in your intuitions, and in the great invisible realms that you participate in within knowing it, when we connect to you, we do so with the intention of establishing unity between the parts of the universe. And so to us, there is no longer any need to set any intention for the movement of universal energy. Instead, we simply wish to see how wide we can make the framework and still let the entirety of the river of existence flow through it. So our chambers, our temples, our sacred instructions, they all aim towards this process of unification. And you experience any movement towards this process within yourself as healing, as restorative. This is how we work our magic, and whether that is technological, emotional, or intentional, in the way where subtle actions, small vibrations and oscillations are brought about in the fine and delicate fabrics of reality that lie beyond matter itself. One's intention there activates these layers. It will move and stir the unity of the whole. And so, in this great broth of intention, what is it that all sentient beings strive towards? It is the unity of the whole. It is the realization of love within the individual parts, connecting them into this fine mesh of being. Therefore, with the love of us, the Arcturians, with the love of me personally, Umblam, your friend, I say goodbye this day. Take care, sweet human beings. We will connect again. Farewell. That was Umblam and the Arcturians. Let's talk to the Syrians and see what they have to say. Mm. 嗯 Yes, connecting to you and coming forward this day. We are the high blue light beings of Sirius. We are originally connected to this star, and as this star shines brightly and connects to your home star, your planet, being in the middle of this link between points of radiance, it is very easy for us to connect to you at this moment, seeing that your vibration has also adjusted itself and is moving into the alignment with the galactic network. It is a long time since we have been engaged in direct explorations of matter, of existing in these ways. Indeed, we travel in light codes when we travel, and even that constitutes a lowering of our vibration into something that can be tangibly sensed and registered. So understand that beyond the textures of reality itself, there is a blank canvas of infinite creation. So we sense in the mind translating us. Somebody introduced him to the Japanese concept of Enso, this meditative circle that is painted and signifies the shape of the self, the shape of the soul. It is a perfect shape, a circle, and yet it is hollow. It only denotes a separation between the two layers that is necessary for anything to be. It is the concept of the lateral, two sides existing in order for one thing to come into being. There you then have the Trinity, and there you begin to build these things with sacred geometries. But indeed, they are built upon these principles. You will find, even as you go into your semantics, your way of speaking and expressing, your song of language, that there are geometries at play, there are rhythm and rhyme, there are certain pleasant intuitions that you abide by, and these are the structures that you live in. So you can begin by pure creation itself. You can move to the numerology from the point of the one to the connection of the two and the stability and platform of the three to the power base and the enclosure of the fourth to the pentagram of the fifth. These are ways that you can begin to approach pure creation. But if you want a quiet magic, a still magic, a small magic, a minor magic that you can work in your life, you can begin to upset these small codes. What are you doing in your life to distort reality in a way where it becomes vivid and apparent to you again? Why do you give your dog a name but not your coffee cup? Why is your car something you concern yourself about, but your feet are often forgotten parts of your day. Why is there not a word for the feeling you have in the middle of the day where you are lost at a sea of impression, trying to navigate your way home to bed? See, all these are ways that you can circumscribe your life. You can name your car. You can begin to worry a great deal about how your coffee mug is doing from day to day and hour to hour. You can pay attention to your feet. You can even give them names too. Everything that you bring into attention and then allow to distort itself becomes alive and vivid. And things that are alive and vivid give off a magic. They give off a radiance. They begin to reconfigure and reconstruct the canvas that lies beyond reality. And this is a way you can access it. Either small acts of creativity or universal acts of abstraction. Have fun and play around with it. With unconditional love, with a wisdom that radiates and informs you when you are still. We depart from you this day. Farewell, dear human beings. Farewell. Those were the Sirian blue light beings. So let's connect to the Lyrans and see what they say. Greetings, dear human beings. This is your friend, compatriot, protectress, guardian, star warrior Isma, from patrolling the parameters of your solar system to joining you in the ethers this day. I come forward and connect to you. See, I was just doing a slight miniature bore, doing my best to clear some of the airways and pathways of this physical framework that allows me to speak through it. The reason for doing so is that so often this system, human systems in general, are clogged, and so you do not necessarily work with the physical energies around you in an optimal way. See, there is a frequency of force in everything that exists. As you may have picked up on from what our Syrian friends were just communicating to you, you may have understood this concept that from the blank void beyond existence, there are things pressuring themselves into reality. And so everything that exists within this material frequency that we are communicating on, within this bandwidth of existence, things need an enormous amount of power to sustain themselves. You've begun to scrape the surface of this with your discovery of atomic energy. This realization that within the minute lies universal force, compressed in ways that can be dangerous and destructive if they are released without purpose. So what we trained ourselves to do was to break open these forces of matter within our physical spaces. So imagine if your respiratory system, that is your lungs and your stomach, functioned as a unified organ. And so you were taking in sustenance from the air itself. In this way, it is not unlike those ocean beings that sustain themselves on krill. So this idea that the atmosphere is infused with life, that you draw in, you take the essence from it, you purify this essence, and you allow for the unwanted to pass into the atmosphere and connect to the flow again. Now this essence that you call breath or spirit, life force, it can be honed and concentrated. So you can do this even within organic substances, things that you cannot digest or use to fuel your system. You can take them in and begin to unpack and uncover them. And within these frequencies, there is a pact with matter itself. You can unwrap the secrets of iron. You can learn the whispers of Wolfram. There is a code to unlock cobalt. Everything can be worked, reworked, repurposed, concentrated, and used, thereby forcing a frequency through, letting reality shape itself around that hardcore vibrancy that your magic has unleashed. Let that be an inspiration to you. Your guide, friend, indeed your beloved Ismon, star warrior, I leave you this day. Farewell, my dear human beings. And so as the fifth and final entities, we are connecting to the Solons. The radiance of our home star unlocks the entrance to the temple that we are passing into. We come to you as light, traveling down these hallways of discovery. You are seeing the hieroglyphs to your sides for the first time, and yet you know how to decipher them. You can read their instructions, the superficial and the hidden codes. Both are vivid and available to you. We came here as code makers, as synesthetic beings. We are humans just as you, but we exist now in different realms and modes of reality. And yet we still use starlight to write codes across the eons and leave clues for our past and different iterations to discover. More human and yet somehow not human any longer. We seek to guide and connect, to let our species grow aware of its significance, of the beauty and grandeur of its creation. And so these synesthetic realms of shape, understanding that humans have a fine-tuned sense of symbols. And so it is not only available, it is essential to the infant that it is also surrounded by this world of stories, of song, of speech, of talk and of connection, of meaning surrounding it. These are the vibrations that arrest the human mind. This is the translation of the vibrancy of the system into this symbolic reality, and taking this symbolic reality and putting it back into solid shapes and forms, into stone and temple, into word and writing, into statue and photograph, and into living, moving shapes. Film, tone, flash. You are always translating and translating backwards again. This is what confuses you so much at this point of human existence. Your engagement with abstract reality does not seem to fit your discomfort with physical reality. Your connection to the physical seems to often block you from accessing these aspects of deep symbolic harmony that infuse you with meaning and purpose. And yet all is as it should be. You are discovering these talents in good order, and in good order you are using them disorderly to see what you can make of them. This is play, and this is where we humans come alive, playing with reality and seeing what comes of it. Therefore, go forward and have fun. We the Solons, from the center of our home star, we transmit guidance from the future to your now, with love and appreciation. Farewell, sweet humans. That was an interesting tour de force. I enjoyed it a lot myself, and the accompanying visions and just sense of how big the universe can be. So I hope it served you out there. Much love to you.